From TMP to TTNG, for sure the cure and those tired meme jeans. Helican Sella and the promise ring. Sunny day, real estate and rights this spring. Prince Twinkle Daddies help keep the dream alive. I constantly thank God for Algernon and Remo Christie Front Drive. Mineral, snowing, high tide hotelier and more. Rio Limo only consists of the DC emotive hardcore. But you gotta admit, Kyle and Ellie really on that emo bullshit. You gotta admit that Kyle and Ellie really on that emo bullshit. Have you heard the tired and disavowed lonely word? Have you heard the disavowed and lonely word? Have you heard the lonely disavowed word? Have you heard the tired and lonely disavowed word?
So there was an r/listen to this thread where someone posted, I'm pretty sure portrait of a man, and this one kid came in there and was like, yeah, I saw MCP, they played a cool show, but they were kind of weird. And admittedly, like, they were referring to a show where, like, we were all kind of in, like, not the best of spirits that night, so I could understand that, and I apologized to them. And I was like, yo, I'd love to talk this out, know exactly what vibe I was putting off. But then this one kid pulled up and was like, yeah, I've gotten a bad vibe off that band, especially ELLIOTT. They have a tendency to discriminate against people for their sexual orientation, and I don't like it. And then some friends of mine pulled up on this thread and were like, hey, what are you talking about? And then this person said, and I quote, you mean to tell me you haven't seen the cis bashing on ELLIOTT's social media? And I came in and I was like, hey, yeah, what are you talking about? And they were like, you posted once that straight people couldn't come to a show. And I was like, I never said that I didn't want straight people's money. Like, that shit was the wildest shit. This kid straight up used the term heterophobic, and that was the highlight of 2018 for me. I gotta be real. Fucking EP.
If you use the term, this is my official position, if you use the term heterophobic, then you probably jerk off to Yu Yu Hakusho while Blade plays softly in the background. There's no recovery from using the term heterophobic.
It was so much, and it was so funny. It was so funny.
Did you ever figure out, like, who it was or anything?
I have a theory. No one worth mentioning because it's no one anyone knows or cares about. It's just someone who, like, I met at a music shop and friended on Facebook, and then he got really pious and self-righteous when I made a broad stroke critique of cis-normativity. And was like, not all cis people, and it's like, I'm not saying that, leave me alone. And then he got, like, really fucking mad. People are really wilding out. 2018 was a wild year. Let's do better this year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bought an electric tea kettle last night with my student loans refund. And so, you know, this year I'm living.
I'm proud. I'm happy.
Thank you.
Well,
it was on sale.
This is episode 23 of the E-Word. The first episode of 2019. Our first recording in, like, a month.
Oh, yeah, it's been a bit.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. I feel bad.
I think we were all extremely worried.
Yeah, I was about to say, we feel more bad for you than you do for them.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Well, hold up a second, because we have to do a proper intro to this episode. This is episode 23. Ooh. This is Kyle, recording in Madison, Wisconsin. Over there is Ellie, who gave us a little bit of a scare, which we'll get to. Ellie, you're good, though? Give us a thumbs up.
Currently good, yes.
Okay. And we have a return guest. We have Elliott, formerly of Michael Sarah Palin, a band that just got clowned on the Welp It's 2 a.m. and I'm listening to the Cap'n Jazz Again page today, this morning, or yesterday.
God, what an honor.
I love how like you in the comments was getting more love than the page admin as well.
Well, like, so I was really stoked to finally get more of a mention than the only other mention we've gotten, which was them going through every album of the year candidate for Midwest emo posting, and for MCP it just said nope, and I was like, yeah, that's fair.
But otherwise, like, you don't have any hurt feelings about this. I mean,
oh God, no. People are allowed to not like my art.
Yeah, but it's also like, out of any band, why would they pick MCP?
Because we're the one with the stupidest name. Find a band in emo with a worse name. Okay, Front Bottoms aren't an emo band. I'll stand by that.
I don't think Elton John Cena's that clever, but it's also like a solo project. I don't know. For some reason, I think if it's a solo project, you can just get away with it.
Yeah. Solo projects have their own rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michael Jordan touchdown pass.
Exactly.
I'm trying to rack my brain thinking of a stupider name, but
exactly.
That might be what makes you stand out, to be quite honest.
Well, I mean, like, everyone who loves the name loves it because it's bad, and like it worked in that it was memorable. If you heard of us once, you knew you had heard of us. Mm-hmm. And so, like, it got the job done. But I'm not going to say it was a good band name. It was a bad band name. It just worked.
I want a band to name themselves Alexander and the Horrible, Terrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I think that would be a good band name.
Oh, that would be a good one. Who was that one hardcore band that got banned from so many venues that they changed their name to Fuck You, Pay Me?
Is it Bad Luck 13?
No, Bad Luck 13 still Bad Luck 13.
There was a lot of bands that got banned from venues constantly. Like, I think On Broken Wings and Swear to God both, like...
On Broken Wings?
Yeah, On Broken Wings have a very off-color mosh call from back in 2003 that I'll tell you about later.
Does the word in particular start with an F? Wait, hold up. You mentioned this one last time we were on a call together.
That was
Yeah, can we edit this out, Kyle? So I don't get caught on air like someone.
We're just going to use the bleep.
All right, so not that I condone this language, but On Broken Wings have a mosh call right before, the heavy breakdown hits. The singer talked into the mic and said,
"Oh, yeah, you mentioned that last time."
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Horrific. But yeah, they got banned from a ton of venues for that. Like, I think a couple venues actually like banned the genre of hardcore like blanket because
I mean that's a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, you were about to ask Kyle something?
Yeah, Kyle. There's somebody here. My very close friend and old roommate, listener to the pod, Josh Bell, is here. And he just wanted to say hi because he actually refused to listen to the podcast for like the first like 18 episodes or so. He was just like, if I want to have a conversation with you, I'll just fucking talk to you. And then when I was in the hospital, he started listening, and he said he thinks you're a pretty cool guy. So.
Okay, thank you, Josh Bell.
Hang
I
on.
like the combination of Drake and Josh. Drake, Bell.
Oh my God, I was thinking it too. I wonder how
Josh,
often he gets that.
He literally just brought up you're the combination of Drake and Josh thing. He gets that a lot. Hang on, I have my headphones on, but I'm gonna put the microphone up to his mouth.
Hey, what's up, Kyle? I really enjoyed.
All right, so we got a missive in from a long time first time.
I honestly thought what was happening was you're gonna bring like your cat up to the mic or something because you are now a pet owner.
Yes, my cat Juno is also here. She's being quiet now though, since I like very recently fed her. But I give it like 2 hours and the meows will start.
We went silent. We're not as active, etc.
Anywhere but Twitter.
I I feel like Ellie's been firing off like one tweet every 3 days that just goes off. So I don't know. I feel like we're like covered there. Like people haven't forgotten about it. We're definitely in the feeds.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but the more effort I put into a joke, the less likes that it gets. So if I spend like 30 seconds listening to Fall of Troy and I'm like, oh, this sounds like Stars Hollow, that will get like 3 million likes. But if I put together a well-constructed joke, or fuck, even if we like just announce a new episode, then
like 3
it's like the fucking
retweets.
lady. Yeah, it's like the lady from the Bird Box. You know, that meme. No one will fucking look at it. Yeah.
So the first thing that brought things to a halt was you going into the hospital, which, I mean, we've like put out the message out there, but Ellie, if you want to go ahead and give us the scoop on what happened, if you want to.
All right. So initially, I think I talked about this in the episode, but that's not coming out for a bit. Initially, I had gone into the hospital. I went to the emergency room out here in Austin, and I told them what I was experiencing, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you probably have a UTI. Just take some medicine and some antibiotics. It'll go away in a little bit." So I do that. It starts feeling better. I fly out to Las Vegas for the holidays to visit my family, and on the morning of Christmas Eve, I wake up just like in unbearable, ungodly pain. Like I try and muscle through it for like 2 hours, and then I'm just like, "Fuck, I need to go to the emergency room." So from there, I checked into the ER like 3 p.m. Christmas Eve, and I don't get out until January 3rd. So altogether, I spent like 8 or 9 days in the hospital. And because at first they just like had me hooked up some IV antibiotics and were giving me morphine and hydrocodone. They were alternating those, but the pain was like so bad that it wasn't even like making any impact. Something like 30,000, which is very, very bad. I think like 15,000 is where people with appendicitis are at. So I was at 30,000. They transferred me hospitals, and I was about to go into organ failure. So they like thought about intubating me and then did not do that, and just took me up to like vancomycin, which is the strongest possible antibiotic. And I came up negative with every test that they were throwing at me. Like any STD test, negative. Hepatitis, negative. Like they could not figure out what the fuck was wrong with me. And I just kept like fluctuating in condition. I would get better throughout the day, and then I would spike to like 102-degree fever at night, and they wouldn't let me out of the hospital until I had been fever-free for 24 hours. I think around day 6, I had like a complete and total nervous breakdown. But you know, it was chill. Eventually, I got better. Lots of people visited me. My hospital room was kind of like a rotating door of Vegas hardcore people. And Dina, my beautiful, lovely fiance, actually flew out from her parents' place out in California. And,
Damn.
yeah, she stayed with me for 3 days, flew back to California, and when she was supposed to go back to Austin, she instead flew back to me in Las Vegas and stayed there with me until she had to go back to work. So really, really A+ girlfriending there from her. Amazing person. Yeah. She really impressed my parents on that shit. So solid. But yeah, it was a very scary near-death experience. It's taken me a very long time to be able to like even like walk properly without like getting such bad pain in my lower abdomen that I need to lie down. But I can pretty much walk fine now. And aside from some back pain from being like immobile for so long, I'm pretty much good. So yeah, that's it. That's my story. And I hope to soon publish it and become rich off the memoirs.
Do you need help with anything? Like, I know at one point there was in the works.
Yeah, so that's actually supposed to be a secret, or at least that's what
yeah.
people organizing it told me. But to give a very brief, non-detailed overview, my friend Sean, who runs Middleman, and my very good friend Eleanor are organizing something to help me out with my hospital bills and just my general well-being, because I have not been able to go back to work yet. So that's what's going on. I'm doing okay. I'm not gonna burn out and go deep into credit card debt anytime soon, but it will be much appreciated.
Shout out fucking Middleman.
Shout out to who?
Middleman.
Yeah, Sean is an amazing person.
I only recently had the pleasure of meeting Sean, and holy shit, what a great human.
Yeah, they're completely pure and warm and wonderful, and everything they do fills me with joy, or sparks joy, I guess, is in the balance of our time. But yeah, the hospital bills are going to be very scary. I'm not looking forward to receiving them. I guess some just came into my parents' address, and my dad was like, don't stress, but still, it's a situation. And I'm still under my parents' insurance, but since I'm over 18, I'm liable for the bills and not anyone else.
I hate when bad things like this have to, is sometimes the biggest reminder of people really care for someone, but it happened with this. There was that thread in the sub that you didn't even know about for the longest time, where people hey, just letting you know, one of our mods is in the hospital, and everyone's oh fuck, her work means the world to me and stuff like that. And people were talking to me IRL, hey, do you know how Ellie's doing? I saw this thing and stuff like that. So
yeah, that was wild. That meant the world to me. Not just the Reddit community, but also all my screamo friends and my hardcore friends and people who I thought weren't even really particularly aware of my existence. Everyone just came out and showed me support, or was texting me or calling me, and it was it was very emotionally intense. I kept tearing up a lot. So thank you to everyone who sent me well wishes. It means a lot.
I, for one, can say I'm so glad that you're okay. We're definitely gonna signal boost whatever we can to help out with medical bills and stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. I know you're glad I'm okay. I know Elliot is well, fuck this kid.
I would let Elliot speak for
I am so upset that you're thriving right now.
I am so goddamn mad your organs did not fail.
How else am I supposed to become a fucking co-host here?
Shit. Fuck.
It was my one chance at the throne. But the throne's a really cheap office chair from Walmart.
Walmart? How dare you? We got this couch from a thrift store, I believe.
More ethical.
Enough about me.
I guess we can tease an episode that we started recording, just to kind of get people excited for things that are coming. We started an episode with probably the most relevant music critic to the genre that we talk about. We started it and we didn't get enough time, so we're just gonna finish it. So it's currently on the back burner, but we're trying to get that done by the end of last year. So that's another reason why things kind of got so quiet for us, because we didn't know what we were gonna do with this episode.
And it's not the bald guy.
No,
it's
not.
It's not the bald guy.
It's not.
It's not that bald guy.
Oh, wait, hold up. He's bald?
He's bald and has glasses.
I think our guy has a facial hair though.
I mean, so does the other guy.
On occasion.
I mean, usually, right? Actually, no, he didn't when I saw him, so never mind.
Yeah, he's pretty fresh-faced. For anyone who hasn't guessed, we're talking about Cameron Crowe. And it says here, in general, for both of us, how are things? How are you, Kyle? Are you okay? Do you need to talk about anything?
What a
in particular?
question.
I wrote the question.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. I was like, does Kyle really just want me to ask him like how he is?
Yo, all right. People haven't heard from us for a very long time, so I don't know. I thought they might want to know that things are fine.
I mean, I'm interested in how you're doing. I know Josh over here is always interested in how you're doing, and you are a fan favorite, by the way. Like,
I'm a fan favorite.
When I do talk to, when I talk to people about the podcast, they like shout you out consistently.
I don't give them anything.
Besides
You're very funny.
half the
You're very-
conversation.
Half the conversation and some really well timed deadpan interjections. I think
Right.
you're
Okay.
you're underselling like your timing.
I would say the biggest thing that I could say right now, I actually have to like bleep out. So I have a now and that.
But it makes me so happy. It
Yeah.
makes me so happy for you. And I have been aware of this. You were texting me about this.
You are the
So-
only person that I've told because
Holy
you are
shit.
so removed. You are so removed from it all.
Elliot, you're inner circle now.
Oh shit.
Wait, does this mean Josh knows?
No, because I have my headphones on.
Okay.
Josh is not quite inner circle. He heard that and flipped me off.
Damn.
He's a silent co-host now. I've decided.
I guess that brings us into follow-up, which Ellie, do you remember anything to follow up on? I mean,
This is so fun to watch. It's just like, what's happened? Oh god.
We took a vacay. I don't know what more you want. I'm here in my khaki shorts. I'm here in my Hawaiian shirt with my
Is
Bad
Man
Hat
Overboard
or
playing in the
whatever.
background? Or
Oh my fucking god. So Josh made me listen to Seaway today. And let me tell you, that band is like a parody of Man Overboard.
yeah.
Like just fucking atrociously bad lyrics. Like there's one song where it's like we're awkward and painful just like Ross and Rachel. That's a line in the goddamn chorus.
that sucks.
I guess I can like give them a pass because they're Canadian, so they're like not quite civilized or whatever. But still, that's like utterly horrendous. And I know they have a song called Sabrina the Teenage Bitch, which is like not cool. That's not chill.
yeah.
That's the band that has that song?
Yep, that's Seaway. They also have another song that's like a real fuckboy core. It's like a love song, and then the chorus is "But your best friend's my girlfriend." Like it's just real gross.
Okay.
Nice.
I would like to add, just as a point of follow-up, that like I feel like we caught Stars Hollow in such like an upswing, because I feel like Stars Hollow cannot be more in my feed right now. They just dropped a song.
New Stars Hollow song is sick.
It's really good.
and-
Tadpole? Yeah, it's called Tadpole.
Yeah, Ian
right.
Cullen literally was like, "This is the most emo thing I could think of."
So here's a little confession for me. I
never listened.
only finally checked them out like a day after they released that song. I didn't even know they had released the song. It was just happenstance. And I'm mad I waited so long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should be. They're really fucking good. I had
You know who they remind me of?
The Fall of Troy.
Grown-ups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's moments in there. It's like Grown-ups with less Warped Tour appeal.
I feel like your takes are they're fucking on one today, Elliot.
I mean, like, it's like not quite as like hype.
Do you think Grown Ups sound like Warped Tour?
I mean, it's definitely pop punky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least like, I don't know. It's definitely more depressive, less like hype, but definitely still like climb on your friends and shout about your feelings type hype.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's like
Grown Ups sound like Seaway, Elliot, 2K19. Quoted.
Whoa. Okay. Let's slow down. Let's take a step back.
I kind of hear it, but I do think that
It's mostly the
Stars
vocals,
Hollow.
I guess.
yeah, I
Well,
guess the
I
vocals,
think,
but Stars
like-
Hollow have like a totally different song structure, like approach to song writing.
Also,
Than
like,
Grown-Ups.
very different guitar work.
The guitars, I feel like in both of those bands never really stop riffing.
Yeah.
'Cause when I think of Grown Ups, I think of like one of those guitars, like the lead guitar just like doesn't stop, just like noodling. And Stars
Yeah.
Hollow definitely don't stop noodling.
I do think Stars Hollow is a bit more like precise.
Yeah.
Grown Ups was like messier, taking from like, you know, the copycat and jazz. You know, like it wasn't like played badly, but it was like played with reckless abandon. And Stars Hollow sounded like well oiled.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think people were surprised by our top 10 lists at all.
No.
I forgot about it.
I think that like the obvious things were just like, oh, there's no Cloud District. But one that I just like kind of forgot about but wouldn't have put on my list is Donovan Wolfington.
Mm.
While I was making my end of year list, I tried to re-listen to it, and I was like, yeah, no, this isn't cutting as deep with me as I feel like this record was trying to.
But at the same time, I think it's like on par with everything that they've released.
To me, it was like I went into it with the knowledge that it was going to be their last record, and so it like hit harder because of that.
Yeah.
I feel
had
like that's
that
what
thought.
all the longtime fans felt.
I was like checking in with myself, and I was like, is this why I feel this way about it?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just didn't have room for it, to be honest.
Yeah, I kept like listening to shit from last year and being like, fuck, why didn't I put that at least in my honorable mentions? But my honorable mentions list was like a mile long.
I accidentally put a 2017 album in my top 25.
Which album?
What one?
It's by a local artist called Coco and Claire. The album's called Posh. It's one of the funnest things I've heard in forever.
Did it have at least like a 2018 reissue?
Oh, it wasn't a reissue. That's just 2018's when it got uploaded to Spotify, and so that's why
word.
I thought it was
Yeah.
2018 release.
Word. I feel that. That could totally happen to me. No, I'm not going to dunk on you.
Thank you for your mercy.
We are going to talk about in the news portion. We're going to talk about the best of our emo 2018 results because that's relevant to follow up here.
Yeah, I should pull that up.
Yeah.
I got a couple tabs.
Yeah. Thank you. So, do we want to talk about what is going to happen in 2019 for the E word?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we should.
Okay. So we are really going to fuck with y'all in 2019. We are going to change up the programming, which sounds a lot more intense than what it actually is. But
Yeah, that sounds like a Bones mixtape, but it's not, I promise.
the new programming. Okay, so on Christmas Day, I was driving back to Madison, and I was listening to Glockamora's Just Married, and I was like we've hardly really talked about Glockamora on the podcast. And then something else got in my head. I was like, you know what? Like, we're coming on the end of a decade, and I was like, and this is like the decade where like the revival happened. I was like, I wonder if we can do anything with this. And then I was like,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be cool to just have like a series of one episode dedicated to each year of this decade? And then I was like, yo, what if we did like a survey or type of thing? And then I had just had the idea of like, we go to our emo starting in February. We will be voting for March, and you will vote for your favorite album of 2010 and whatever.
2012 is gonna be a fucking bloodbath.
There's so
Yeah.
many years where it's gonna be like, what, like, where do we go here?
2014 is also going to be a fucking bloodbath.
2015 is gonna be
2009 through 2014 is gonna be a fucking mess, and everyone's gonna hate each other.
I don't know.
So-
I feel like
Because all I know is
2011
that
locked in.
you see, all I know is that I'm right and you're wrong, as far as albums are concerned. I'm the only person who's ever
Right.
listened to good music.
So we're gonna do this starting in March. We're gonna talk about 2010, and so that survey is gonna come out at the beginning of February, and y'all are gonna vote, and whatever album gets the most votes, we're gonna do an episode on. We are gonna deep dive it. We're gonna talk about, the entire track listing. We're gonna talk about everything, and we're
the recording process, the conditions under which the album came out, anything you can possibly think of. We are going to be really, really intensive about how we're doing this.
And we're gonna try and pull in some guests that maybe had their hand with the record, or maybe someone who was just involved with it in some way. We're gonna try that. I mean, obviously, if it's modern baseball or something, probably not gonna be able to get Brennan on or something. Brendan.
Brendan.
Yeah, just an example like that. But we're gonna try and have someone that at least has a connection to the record to talk about it. I mean, honestly, a good example of deep diving something is Blink 155. I would love to get Blink 155 level about these albums and stuff.
We might have something happening with Blink 155 coming soon as well.
Yeah.
I'm keeping in contact with them on that subject.
So,
do you want to reveal the name of this feature?
A Decade Under the Influence.
That's such a good name. I'm so proud of you. That made me so happy when you said it.
So that's going to be one of the episodes that's going to come out a month. The other episode that's going to come out a month is just going to be an episode like this, a news style episode. What you kind of know the E word to be, I guess. Is that too vain to say? But then there's going to be another episode, and Ellie, I'll let you talk about that episode that's going to come out every month.
Right. So the structure for this episode currently is, of course, in all the voting threads, there are going to be albums that are close contenders, albums that don't quite make the cut, albums that are maybe perennially underrated favorites. I feel like we owe it to those albums to take the time to discuss them, and talk, maybe not as in-depth as we do about the winning album, but talk about, the surrounding scene, what was happening in that year in emo. And I think I can speak for both of us, Kyle, in saying that at that point, starting in 2010, we were involved, we were listeners, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of harkening back to maybe my peak involvement in emo listening years, probably. But either way, that's stuff that we can't ignore. The catch is these episodes, since they're extra work, are going to be extras for our Patreon subscribers. I feel like we've made jokes about this in the past, but it's actually happening now. We're going to be doing a Patreon. We're going to have a bare minimum you can donate to our Patreon, and once you meet that bare minimum, you'll be able to listen to that episode per month. And Kyle and I are working on rewards for higher levels, but I just think it's cool that we're going to be able to be putting something together that people would want to hear in that context. And it's a model that we've seen work for a lot of other podcasts that we admire, like Axie Pride, for example. Me personally, I really love Chapo Trap House, and their Patreon episodes are almost always better than the weekly episodes. But
to clarify,
more news. Yeah.
To clarify, that'll be the only way to listen to those episodes. They're not going to be available anywhere unless you're a Patreon subscriber. So, just yeah,
that's your incentive.
Yeah,
that's your incentive.
Exactly.
I'm not a very good salesperson, so I feel like me pitching this to the audience is a bad idea. But it's something I'm really, really stoked about. We're kind of putting everything together. The Patreon should be up by mid-February at the very latest. But we're also, like I said, me and Kyle are working on higher tier rewards, and there may be some merch coming people's way as well, kind of as its own thing. So keep your ear to the ground. Keep your other e-words to the ground.
Yeah. So, Patreon shit coming mid-February. As is the first release of the possibilities, or the possible albums for the Decade Under the Influence of the year 2010. But also, just one other thing that we've been teasing for a little bit is we're going to fuck around and release an episode only on tape. And that's all you're going to know. We have yet to get that interview, but it's going to be fun. And it's not going to be something we're going to profit off of or anything. And I'm excited to do this. We've been talking about it for like months. But
yeah, it's going to be really fucking big too. Like, y'all are going to be ridiculously stoked on this.
Mind telling me what it is and bleeping it out?
Yeah.
Ooh, really?
Yep.
What kind of exclusive y'all getting from that?
Just the interview. Just
it's an interview, and you can only listen to it on a tape because it's funny.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's fucking sick.
Every single little bit of the proceeds is going to addiction and harm reduction organizations, as well as trans advocacy organizations. So.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we were. I was talking to you about this, Elliot. Like, you offered a song because we were.
Yeah, did you say that you were going to contribute to it?
Yeah, we were trying to get Sclusy tracks.
Wait, hold up. What
did you? maybe you didn't know.
Well, maybe it's because of the fact that it was probably months ago and you haven't reminded me of it.
Oh, that's fair.
Also, to be fair, we haven't done anything besides think about it for the first time in a couple months. So.
Yeah.
So y'all haven't heard from us for a long time, but we have tons in the tank, and that's what you're going to look forward to for 2019. It's one episode that's like this, one episode that's going to be these incredibly good quality artifacts that are deep dives on records that y'all love. I mean, I honestly would love to do a deep dive on an album that I'm just salty about it winning.
Absolutely.
Which is for sure going to happen. That's for sure going to happen.
Probably 2016 if Best Buds wins. Like, I'm going to be really going in on it.
You are going to be merciless.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and skip to what have you been listening to?
All right. So lots of stuff. While I was in the hospital, I was trying to be nostalgic, so I listened a lot to the America's Hardcore compilation from back in 2010 because that was like, that was like the soundtrack to me freshman year of high school, and I still really like look back on all those bands with a lot of fondness. And you got some great shit on there, like the Bitter End track is sick, Foundation track is sick.
Shout out Atlanta.
Shout out Atlanta. It closes with a title fight song, which is dope and ties back into that No Echo article I did a little while back. The power trip song, Hammer of Doubt, that's like the original recording of Hammer of Doubt. I think that's like the best version of the best power trip song. You got Wolf Whistle on there, which is like the most underrated Pat Flynn band by a real solid margin.
Really good.
A real shitty sounding Cruel Hand song, but like it's a great song. It just has like terrible recording quality. And it goes into that like butt rock thing at the end, which I always dig. Just a top to bottom great fucking comp. I recently did a deep dive on the Dillinger Escape Plan's discography. I've listened to all the albums before, but for a very long time, I was of the opinion that like Calculating Infinity was just by far and away the best Dillinger album. And I think it's still probably my favorite, but I think I was really underselling, especially Miss Machine and Ironworks.
Thank you.
Like those two albums are fucking masterpieces. I think what was holding me back was, I personally hate Mike Patton. Like, I hate Mr. Bungle and Faith No More, and pretty much, I do. I don't like any of that shit, and so I don't. like I didn't dig Greg's vocals for a long time because I felt like he was just doing a Mike Patton impression. But honestly, some of the songs were like, it is very Mike Patton influenced, like Black Bubblegum, for example. That song actually is a fucking slapper. Like,
Yo, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the, you know, their farewell record, Dissociation, is also very, very fucking good. I think if I had to pick a least favorite, it would be Option Paralysis, but not because it's bad, just because I think it does what Dillinger does in less volume.
It offers the least.
Yeah. Bum with Gold Teeth is also like a fucking gnarly track, though. Like, that's Option Paralysis still has some bangers. What else? January has already been like a crazy fucking year. Wrist Meet Razor album dropped, and it's insane. Nouveau Ascara, used to be Vril, dropped their LP, and it's insane. Really good.
I see that everywhere. Should I have been familiar with that band before?
Yeah, they used to be Vril / Heritage Unit. The share members.
Okay.
And yeah, have always been very good screamo band. But I think on this new record, they like really stepped up like the intricacy of the songwriting. And Taylor Jewell is just like a godlike drummer, like one of the best drummers in all of hardcore, in my opinion. Judiciary dropped their new record. That
I still haven't peeped that yet.
Rotation.
I've
I
heard
painted
it's
my
good.
nails while listening to Judiciary.
Oh,
The new Judiciary.
that's
the other
so
day.
your brand.
I know. Is there anything more elite than that? I don't think so. They're actually coming here. They're gonna do a show with Gatecreeper.
Whoa.
No, sorry, not Gatecreeper. Not Gatecreeper. I'm sorry. Creeping Death. I don't know how I fucked that up. And Incendiary headlining.
Wait, hold up. So they have guest vocalists on this album, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love how instead of listing who the vocalist is, they just like put
the
the
band.
artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
God's Hate.
this song is
and,
Judiciary and Knocked Loose, just all of them on one track.
Yeah. The vocalist from Mortality Rate, she does an amazing fucking job on the track she's on.
She does.
Like the lyric is something like, "I'm pure fucking rage and I will consume you." Like it's something along those lines, and it's so goddamn badass. New Page of the Lion, obviously. And I've
solid.
noticed that the new Page of the Lion, the new Page of the Lion has like clout with the younger generation
It does.
somehow.
I feel like it's like, I don't know how. I mean, it's something that they should be listening to, but I feel like it's taken a very long time.
I feel like it's sort of like an unspoken understanding.
I feel like it's because David still has like 22-year-old sad bastard energy, you know? Like no matter how mature the subjects he's talking about are, like no matter how far he comes in his life, like what he exudes is still just like, I smoke cigarettes in the shower and I'm not sure if my cat is alive inside my pile of clothes. Like that type of energy.
Yeah. Hearing him talk about weed was funny.
All right. Anyways, so Kyle, what have you been listening to?
All right, I finally wrote this shit out. I don't know what the internet thinks of this band right now, but I am so here for the new Angel Dust. Holy fuck, are those songs all great. Like, I can see them being completely polarizing.
Yep.
Because they're going in this own vibe that's very much different in their own, but I'm here for it. I love it. I love all those 4 songs that have come out. Big Ass Love, Bang My Drum, some song about loving a dog.
You mean Kenny?
Yeah, we're getting to that.
How do you two feel about the new Angel Dust? You guys can totally like bash me for.
No, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
They're not doing. They've described themselves as like power pop filtered through a hardcore lens before, and I think that was like accurate. But that's not like really what they're doing anymore. They're like kind of going in their own lane and flexing like a different kind of songwriting muscle.
They're like
and
they're like committing to whatever bit they're doing. They're like committing to it hard, and I think that's
yeah.
I am totally in love with it.
I saw that one video for one of the songs. I think "Take Away the Pain." I think they released a video for that, and it came up as an ad. And I'll say these songs are fun. I'm still waiting for them to grow on me. I know they will. They just haven't yet.
I mean, the song that they did a music video for last, "Bang My Drum," I mean, it has a fucking saxophone solo. So I feel like they're just like off the rails.
For sure. I had one friend liken it to Jimmy Buffett, and I lost my damn mind when he said that.
It's just like hardcore dudes doing but it's not like a
hardcore in non-hardcore places.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What is this a reference to?
Axe to Grind.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Axe to Grind is referencing like an old Tumblr actually when they do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're about to notice a lot more hardcore bands being willing to embrace a softer side, thanks to Fiddlehead.
Yep.
Mm.
Absolutely.
I think that is exactly what we're seeing here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens and the subsequent title fight record that we're going to get out of it.
Is there something to do with Turnstile in any regard with that statement? Like, Turnstile.
Now, Turnstile's always just been doing the whole
groove.
Rage Against the Chili Peppers thing.
Yeah.
Chili Peppers is a stretch, but yeah.
Is it really?
I want it to be.
Are you specifically saying like soft though? Like softer?
No,
things?
I'm just saying like the groove. And by the way, have you listened to early Chili Peppers? Because they like do like the Turnstile is doing now. Like, go back and listen to Fight Like a Brave. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Not that I'm defending the Red Hot Chili Peppers as a band, because they
You
are
and
bad,
Claudio are both on that fucking shit.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Kyle
gonna
has
keep going.
more things. Yeah.
Yeah. I finally listened, or I don't think I listened to it before we recorded last, but the new Strange Ranger EP, which there's actually been 2 of them because they did like a couple B-sides, and all of it's good. All of it's less Day Moony sounding, and I am really liking all of it. I saw Mineral last week, and that was great. So I like binge listened to Mineral for a long time. I met a couple of our emo related people at that show. That was cool. I met Bennett. I don't know Bennett's screen name, but Bennett's a listener of the podcast and was really excited to talk about the podcast. And then he introduced me to someone who I was standing next to, who turned out to be Connor Radbones from the sub, the mod. Connor.
Yeah,
and
I love Connor so much. He is the biggest sweetheart.
I also listened to this new band, or the new release from the band Forest that came out this year. Incredibly fucking good noodly emo from Japan.
Oh, is that the We Are Forests Bandcamp that I've seen thrown around?
Yeah. It's super fucking good. It's incredibly good.
I should listen to that.
I listened to the Wrist Meat Razor LP, and it is heavy as fuck. Been listening to Future Teens. I saw Future Teens earlier this year as well, and really liked that record that I finally needed to listen to. There's this band called Caravella. I don't know anything about them. I think they're from the East Coast and have done some stuff with Prawn, and it's just really good. Like, it sounds like 30-year-olds making like Jimmy World kind of poppy stuff.
Every time I see their name, I get really excited thinking it's Caravels.
Caravels are assholes, by the way.
Really?
Are they really?
Oh, not cancelable by any stretch.
Oh,
Just like not fun to hang out with?
Yeah, they're from Vegas.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
Is that supposed to be the beginning, middle, and end of that statement, or?
Well, because I'm from Vegas, so I've had experiences. I've had friends who've had experiences that are just generally unpleasant. Not anything gross or anything that I would say is problematic. But
again, just like sort of an eye roll type thing.
They're meanies, yeah, a little bit.
Gotcha. Damn.
Is it because they're in like kind of a beloved band, so they have some arrogance
They were
to
assholes before Caravels were big.
them? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. They rip live though. I saw them in the T-shirt warehouse once upon a time, and it was fucking dope. Gotta separate the art from the artist, man.
Fuck that shit.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that.
That's all I'll talk about.
All right, so New Pedro, great. David Bazan doesn't write bad lyrics. Let's see. There's this new Atlanta project called Pike Company. That's Pike Co. And they released a 3-song thing out of nowhere. And it is like, so they're all in like really like loud fucking bands. It has the same drummer as Big Jesus, if you're familiar with them.
Mm.
And this is just like a really nice soft rock EP that like is very sugary sweet. Atlanta emo band Foxwound released a new album that I've been enjoying quite a bit recently. Same guitarist and partial front person as Top Bunk, if you remember them.
Yep.
This is really good. Very reverbed out post-punk influenced emo. Recommend it. Malibu Ken has been on my ears lately.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? That's Aesop Rock and
Tobacco.
Right. Yeah. That shit is pretty flame. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I'm with y'all on Wrist Meet Razor. The 2 new See You Space Cowboy tracks that dropped. Pretty fucking.
Yeah, I think 911 is actually like a little bit of an older song, or at least I've been hearing that for like a hot minute here.
Yeah, but also like you're near them.
Oh yeah, no, I'm friends with Jesse and Liam, so that also might like affect it. But the new one is ridiculous. I am a little disappointed in Pure Noise for like marketing this as like a brand new LP that dropped.
Yeah,
it's just a comp.
Got my hopes up for sure.
But I do know for a fact that they have an LP coming. So
let's see what else. Now that Brave Little Abacus is more convenient, been doing that.
Yeah, I think it sounds bad on Spotify.
It fucking does.
I mean, it wasn't the band who uploaded it, right?
It was. It says like copyright Brave Little Abacus at the bottom. I think.
Anyone?
Circle Takes the Square actually are uploading their music.
Oh,
on Spotify
believe me, that was what I was gonna say next. I was listening to As the Roots Fucking Undo all day. I've been waiting for that to be on Spotify for the 4 years I have had Spotify fucking premium.
Yeah, I've had it
was
for like 7 and been waiting this entire time.
So what Document 8 is for a lot of people, As the Roots Undo is for me. That album like really opened my mind up to what screamo could be and what punk could be.
It's tied with Document Number 5 for my favorite screamo album ever.
When did that get uploaded to Spotify? Was that like today?
Like yesterday.
Yeah,
very recently.
Christ. I don't have any reason to have iTunes except for fucking camping in Alaska right now. Like,
yeah, I will say, As the Roots Undo, someone once told me that it sounds like Showtune screamo, but you know what? I'm fucking here for it. I'm down with that.
I feel like there has to be a better candidate for that.
Showtune screamo. Oh, now this has nothing to do with Showtune screamo, but it just reminded me. Sean from Middleman also just put out a new record. The band Riposte, Riposte. They put out their LP. I think either last night or today. Very recently, but it's very, very fucking good. At the Drive-In Influence screamo. Yeah.
All right.
So check that out.
Also, I've been revisiting Hekra.
Oh, that's a good band.
Hekra's sick. Yeah.
Great fucking band. More people need to fucking talk about them. Or him. Them.
I'm really not sure. I do remember they used to upload stuff to Mew a lot.
Yeah.
Like promote their music on Mew. But yeah, I totally agree. They're very like not talked about as much as they should be.
Nowhere near. Recently saw the Bomb the Music Industry documentary for the first time, so I've been on a bit of a Jeff Rosenstock kick as well. Also revisiting some Vacation.
I just saw Jeff live. It was an amazing experience.
Oh yeah, was that one of the Jeff and Joyce show?
Jeff and Joyce Manor. It was ridiculous.
speaking of seeing things live, I also saw Mineral, and I will say, for the Atlanta show, the energy in that room was dead. Not because of the bands playing, but because, like, you could tell, like, 80% of the room had to get a babysitter to go to that show.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of singing along in Chicago, but there wasn't anyone, like, throwing a finger up in the air at all.
Oh,
like,
man.
It was just, like...
Yeah, and it kind of bummed me
around.
out.
Also, can I add that Mike Kinsella was in the crowd with the host of MasterChef Junior at the Chicago show?
You should have asked them to come on the show. Specifically the host of MasterChef Junior.
Absolutely.
Mike Kinsella has nothing to do with emo, so I don't know why you would consider that.
It sucked because, like, that night was supposed to be a double header for me. Like, I went to the screening of the new Neil Breen film in Atlanta. Okay, so you're familiar with Neil Breen, greatest director of all time.
Was not aware that someone with the talent.
Oh no, he's what everyone makes Tommy Wiseau out to be. Like, everyone's like, oh, Tommy Wiseau's like the greatest bad movie director. No, you do not understand. Like, Neil Breen is an auteur of shit.
Yeah.
Who's the other one?
You will fucking care.
You Boll? What's that person's name?
What? Oh, Uwe Boll.
Uwe Boll, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did like the.
He did Alone in
movies.
the Dark. Yeah, he did the Alone in the Dark adaptation of that video game.
I don't know. If anyone gets anything out of this episode, I want everyone to go. Fateful Findings is posted on Vimeo. And
my favorite Facebook meme is the people like making their profile picture frame a Neil Breen film. Like,
yeah,
I love that.
Getting to see the new film, which, by the way, may very well is a strong contender for Neil Breen's best to date. Like, a really strong contender.
Is Neil Breen the guy that's in all of these posters?
Yes.
So so he's casting himself.
Yes.
Yeah,
director, writer, producer, lead actor, provider of craft services, etc.
Yeah.
Makeup artist, also does the makeup for the entire cast. He's
Best
really a
way
jack
and
off of all
gaffer.
trades.
Yeah. Elliot, have you listened to the new For Your Health yet?
Can't say so. I know that I would love it. It's like power violency, right?
It's like ripping scrams, like Midwest scrams. I don't know if I would consider it power violency. It's definitely heavy, but there's also like a little bit of like sass in there as well. At least like on the first track.
Cute.
Kind of dancey, but it's very, very, very fucking good. There's like this one like in through the nose, out through the mouth refrain where the vocals get like really gross and aggressive, and I'm like in love with it. I thought you would have listened to it already. I just wanted to share that with you.
I'm just a fucking poser, quite frankly. I am like the least well-read encyclopedic emo nerd you will meet. Like, I know names. I have never listened to a single record in my life. Who's American Football again?
Not an emo band.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to them if you want to be an emo.
Oh yeah, they're just math
They have
rock,
nothing
right?
to do. Yeah, indie pop.
All right, I will say though, Brave Little Abacus, it sounds like shit because it was mixed like shit. Like, I think they should.
No.
Well,
It sounds like shit, even in the high quality download I got from a YouTube comment. That sounds 2 times better than what's on Spotify.
Yeah. So the version on Spotify, it's specifically like, especially the fades between tracks.
That I
those
think
were
only
atrocious.
happens between tracks 2 and 3.
No, it happened throughout the whole album for me.
I think
Yeah,
so.
I know that it didn't happen between Highway Got Paved and blah blah blahs, but
Yeah.
which for me is the most important point of the most important linked tracks on the album.
Or
Yeah.
the song
So-
about a boy.
To me, Discomfort is the album that I wish Newfound Interest in Connecticut had made. Like,
I remember you saying this, yeah.
Really? I said this?
Yeah, because I never heard of that band until you were like, why haven't you listened to Newfound in Connecticut?
Yeah, neither have I.
I'm not gonna say they're not worth listening to because that album is, I think it's called A Long Dark Path Home, something like that. It's very good, like post-rocky emo with like a little bit of screamo influence, but mostly sounds like an extended version of stuff like the Gloria record and Imbroco. But to me, Discomfort is just like so much more high-minded and progressive than that. It's what like Newfound Interest were trying to do, but they didn't have like the guts to go as far as Brave Little Abacus took it. They didn't have the guts, and they didn't have the Mandark-esque vocalist.
Yeah, for me, I think Brave Little Abacus is very emblematic of a time where the vast majority of emo bands were just trying to write anthems. Like, that's what The World Is came out of. That's what Cinco de Mayo shit show was. That's what fucking Tawny Peaks was doing.
When did Discomfort come out? What year?
2010.
2010. Circa that time, you also had, like 3 Day Weekend, right?
Fair.
I agree with you that it was definitely like an anthemic time for the quote-unquote revival. But while I wouldn't say that Brave Little Abacus is like not anthemic, I would say that they had loftier aspirations.
Oh, for sure.
I would even say that like The World Is, even as they got more ambitious, have never really matched like what Brave Little Abacus were doing on Discomfort or Okame.
Okame just has 4 bangers on it.
So, like,
but it's
the
very
thing
good
about Brave Little Abacus is, like, they were maximalists. They were maximalists in a way that, like, you could tell they were just, like, throwing themselves everywhere in order to, like, make this sound. Whereas, like, The World Is, we're, like, trying to be an orchestra.
I've done a lot of digging on, like, interviews and shit with Adam. And Adam's just, like, he like went from listening to ska to They Might Be Giants. So like it's just like that's what the Brave Little Abacus became, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's like rhythmically very fucked up and instrumentally wild.
Could you imagine if that album had fucking accordion on it?
It does have accordion on it.
It does. Yeah, I was like racking my brain. I think that like happens on that album.
No, I'm pretty sure that's just synth.
Is it like a synth approximating an accordion?
Y'all, I'm about to put my phone up to the microphone.
Yeah, for real, Kyle. Like, I really remember an accordion being on this record.
But no, Boys Team. That's an accordion.
Word. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck me.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Yeah. Thanks, Kyle.
Actually, wait, no, hold up. I think that's a chord organ.
Shut up.
No, like the type that fucking Daniel Johnston used.
I haven't heard anything from Daniel Johnston aside from Hi, How Are You?
Hey,
all right,
hey.
He used it a shit ton.
How about if y'all just vote for We Just Got Back from the Discomfort as album of 2010, we will deep dive it and get to the source on every fucking instrument played. Alright?
No, it's not gonna win. Snowing's gonna win.
Here.
Snowing's gonna win that year. Sorry.
Shut up. Don't put that in their heads. Don't put that in their heads.
What's gonna win?
Kyle's gonna edit it out.
Oh, I forgot. Fuck was from that year.
Yeah, If I Could Do Whatever's that year, and we all know how much.
No, I Could Do Whatever was. I Could Do Whatever was 2010.
Yep, it's 2010. Yeah, I am 100% positive.
2011.
Where does it say that?
I think you gotta go to Discog. I think
Yeah,
I think
Bandcamp says
Discogs.
2011. Discogs says 2010.
Discogs has gotta be the more accurate.
All right, I'm looking at the Count Your Lucky Stars page now. April 1st, 2011.
All right, I'm gonna look at the Snowing page on Discogs.
You mean the one where it's not posted?
It says 2010 on Discogs.
It says 2010
on Discogs.
What?
Yeah.
What page are y'all looking at?
Look on Discogs.
Oh, Square of Opposition?
Yeah, it was pressed on both initially.
Square of Opposition says 2013.
Where are you? Go to the
I am on
page itself.
squareofoppositionrecords.com, .bandcamp.com.
Go to the fucking album page on Discogs for I Could Do Whatever.
Oh, Discogs. I thought we were...
Yeah.
Yes. No,
Oh,
Bandcamp is inaccurate. That's when it was uploaded
We're all on
digitally.
Discogs right now. Fuck Your
Oh my
Emotional
God.
Bullshit was first pressed in 2009.
Huh. I'm learning.
I don't understand why you wouldn't just instinctively trust me on this shit, Elliot. I feel betrayed.
That's fair. I don't know. Like, I could have... I just... In my head, it was a 2011 album.
Can we move on?
Yeah.
I feel like we've been trapped here.
We're just
Yeah,
like,
we've been
entertaining
trapped just
each
like
other.
yelling at each other about old emo when we have so much
Yeah.
new emo to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a little bit of news here. We're
Yeah.
gonna start with the biggest thing, which is
Oh, can we wait on this?
okay.
I don't
okay.
feel ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start off with Commander Salamander and Origami Angel drop that motherfucking split finally. Finally, because we've just been told about it for like all of last year.
To be fair, to be fair, it happened
The split's
because
been in the works
the
for
Gami
a very
MCP split fell through.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, can I just ask, is this the same split like that?
Those were the two tracks that were supposed to be on a split with MCP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so this is called Holy Split. It's out on Chatterbot right now. Are there physicals available? I don't know. But we've got two songs from Origami Angel. We got Denny's DeVito and Origami Bagel, and we've got Kenny by Commander Salamander, as well as What's Up, My Good Man.
Sick
So-
Fernando quote.
So this started as a split, possibly with MCP, is what you're saying?
The Gami tracks, yeah.
Gotcha.
I think this is like the best work so far from both bands, personally.
Origami
I think
Bagel's
it's like-
insane. That song is
Yeah.
insane. It's insanity.
The thing that I love is that you can tell that they're still feeding off each other. Like Origami Angel is getting more intense and Kama Salad is getting more like thought out. You know?
Mm-hmm. Because they also did that Christmas song,
Mm-hmm.
which
By the way, the Commander Salamander song on that comp is like incredible.
yeah, it's way too
But
good.
I still think the stuff they're doing here is like even better. Like I'm gonna be ride or die for this band for a very long time, I think.
As long as they'll be around.
Don't jinx it.
I know. I'm trying not to.
Every time Commander Salamander's name is spoken, Claudio and Fernando have a fight. As for Origami Angel, I think Ryland is like going to become the best pop songwriter in emo. I think as it is, like he's on his way, but he's gonna like outstrip Jade from Oso Oso like in a year or two.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you
Like-
see that video of Ryland playing one of the tracks on like a mandolin and then just fucking blew up on Twitter and like Mom Jeans shared it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
insanity. I mean, I didn't see that Mom Jeans shared it because
Because they
You know,
blocked us.
but-
But
It's funny because the caption on Mom Jean sharing it was basically exactly what you said.
yeah, like the world doesn't deserve this musician, basically.
Like they will be remembered like as an essential piece of this era.
I've also noticed like Origami Angels like getting out there very far, and they're finally starting to tour a lot, which is awesome because the world needs to hear. I mean, both of these bands really. I hope Commander Salamander can make it to the Midwest at least.
yeah, Claudio said that they don't have anything for sure in the works yet, but they are going to start booking tour stuff soon. When I talked to him last, so we have that to look forward to.
I really want to get a Commander Salamander Plastic Taste split set in Atlanta.
A battle set.
Yo!
Yeah.
I have never seen a battle set. I've just heard the joke forever. Has anyone here seen
No, they're
one?
a real thing.
Well, yeah, I know they're real, but I've never seen
So
one.
I booked a show where one just ended up happening because we had to get the show done before noise curfew. It was between Aviator and Messes. And that shit was incredible because they were sharing gear. So it would just be like them switching out and playing 2 songs at a time. And like while one band was playing, the other would just be like flipping them off and like telling them to eat shit.
I wasn't there for this one, but I know for a fact it happened. Ostraka and Gift from God did a battle set.
Oh, yeah!
Jesus.
Yeah.
There's video of that one, right?
There is. Tamir was there and filmed it.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Insanity. So goddamn good.
Those are like Tamir's bands.
Yeah, those are his literal favorite bands. He was. I feel like he just drenched himself when that happened.
Blood in the basement.
Tamir Goop. All
But
right.
yeah, it's both of those bands doing their thing harder than before.
Yeah.
That new American football song with Haley Williams is officially out.
Officially.
Yeah, we all heard it before. It sounded like,
Yeah.
but it's out.
I think
and-
I'm the one who sent it to Elliot.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. I love it. I think it's really good American football stuff, and Haley adds something to it that I kind of like. When I first heard of the concept of this, like that there's going to be a track with Haley Williams, I could kind of hear it, and it sounds like what I imagined. But honestly, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what American football are doing now is much more in line with the stuff that Paramore has been doing on like the last 2 albums. So it works a lot better than it has any right to.
Mhm.
And it's weird because Paramore is a band that I'm like very stoked on, and American football is a band that I'm very met on. But their collaboration is probably like my favorite thing American football has done since the reunion, for sure.
I mean, I'm just thankful that we aren't going to be getting another disappointing attempt at a recreation of LP1.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's like what the third album is. It's like we're so far removed from LP1 that we don't have to compare it to that now.
Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
like, LP2, like, they were trying to do the LP1 thing. There were no
They were trying to
effects. It
capture
was
it,
just,
yeah.
like, interplay
Yeah.
of the guitar parts and, like, sad lyrics. Like, but it missed a lot of the, you know, mathy charm and, like,
Mhm.
youthfulness that, like,
I'm
is the whole reason LP1 worked.
I'm so glad like you're not one of those dumb contrarians who actually likes it better. Like,
Oh, God, no.
hate
I
that
mean,
shit.
I'm not going to say that it's a bad record, but I will
I'm not gonna
say
I'm
that,
not
like,
a dumb contrarian.
it failed. I mean, fair. It failed at what it was trying to do in its own right. It worked.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
And
sure I've
that's
said
all
this
I
on
can
the
really say to its
podcast,
effect.
but if we didn't get an LP3, I would have been so much more happy. I've been so happier if LP2 didn't exist, because then we wouldn't have something to water down the discography. Now we have to think of the band that reunited and put out a pretty disappointing record. It just kind of takes
Yeah.
away
Like-
from that like legacy. Like, I mean, like reuniting and playing shows is fine, but when you're putting out music, I mean, like a good example is like Mineral. Those songs, those 2 songs that they put out are really good. Like those
Yes.
are really good. I am happy that they exist.
Also, Braid. The new Braid stuff. Is
No Coast
excellent.
is like the Rosetta Stone for like a worthwhile
Yeah.
reunion record.
Yeah.
Yeah, No
It's
Coast
really
is
good.
really good. It pushes their sound even further, which is insane because all the bands on Top Shelf when No Coast came out are like still trying to match what Braid did on Framing Canvas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine being the greatest emo band to ever exist.
And having
I mean,
mates that want to sound like you.
Midwest emo isn't really emo, but that's aside from the point.
Do you want to see me cry? Because I will.
You're the last person I would expect to disagree with that take.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's just. I think
Well,
it's
'cause
pedantic.
You're one of the only other people I know who's like genuinely into early 90s emotive hardcore. Like, okay, I'm not going to say Midwest emo like flat out isn't emo, but it's not, I don't think it's emo no qualifiers.
Yo, Elliott's
Well-
in their car right now, hotboxing, listening to Mineral.
So
2001 Subaru? Yeah.
thank you. But not. So the thing is, like, as with most like niche subgenres, it was a term created by music journalists. So music journalists get to decide where it goes.
The term Midwest emo wasn't really created by music journalists.
Oh, I'm not saying Midwest emo. I'm saying emo. And at the time, Braid was emo.
No.
Yes.
Like, if you go back and read the Heart Attack reviews, pretty much like anytime someone wrote about like Braid or Christie Front Drive, they were like, oh yeah, this is like emo influenced indie rock. Like emo back then was like very much Still Life and
Like-
Heroin.
And like Moss Icon and shit.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. I'll have to go and read Heart Attack then. Also, kudos for pulling out the one source that I would immediately
Respect.
yes.
Yeah, I've read
Like
every
if you
single
quote
issue of
Heart Attack, like there's no combating that.
Fun fact: Kent McClard reviewed the Christie Front Drive LP, and he said this is the music that emo kids would put on to have sex to, like after listening to the chaotic stuff like Antioch era.
Huh. Cute.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my pretentious waffling about for the episode.
Okay.
Oh, there's plenty more.
There's that new Stars Hollow song called Tadpole. That's really great.
I love everything about them.
Me
I
too.
had to defend them in a Scram Cave thread.
Oh, I
Why?
saw that.
Why?
Yeah.
Why
There was
Stars
a thread
Hollow?
about worst screamo band, and someone said Stars Hollow and
That's
Ellie.
Liam from Sea Space Cowboy.
Little tiny Ellie just pulled up and was like, "Aw, dang, I really like them."
But why are
Tyler's
they
a
getting called?
sweetheart.
But why are they being called screamo?
I don't know.
Probably
That's the part that
vocals.
confused me.
There was a really good like discussion in that comment thread though, where someone was like, "Twinkly Twitter ooh woo emo is the fucking bane of my existence," and I was like, "Okay, fair." It's like act your age, you know.
Wait, what's Twinkly Twitter ooh woo emo? Michael Cera Palin?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine
don't
this
know,
band,
like-
but I can't name a single one.
Okay, I
Yeah,
know
that's
what
exactly
I
what
want
it
to
is, yeah.
yell at people and tell them MCP was. I don't know what we really were, like, to other people.
To me, you're a sparkle punk, for the record.
Ah!
I would say Sparkle Punk too.
Thanks, Kyle.
So Tadpole.
That term I hate.
My boy Joe premiered it on his show Finding Emo, the radio show, and it was
Hey, shout out.
and now it's out in the world on Spotify and everything. Also, buy Stars Hollow things so they can record that album. That's some feedback on that episode. Everyone was like loving that talk about Tyler talking about needing money to record an album and doing it right. And they were just like, yeah, I actually appreciate that when bands want to make their shit actually sound proper and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very respectable.
Yeah.
However, that still does not excuse Jerome's dream.
yeah.
Woo!
JD
Oh,
can
hey,
record that.
can we discuss the fact that we are supposedly finally getting that Kid Crash album?
Oh, yeah. 'Cause
Like
Joe
8
came out on
fucking
Spotify.
years later? That's the funniest shit. That is
Um,
so funny.
What is this?
Kid
So
Crash.
Kid
did-
Crash, they're like a kind of a legendary screamo band. They're one of those bands that kind of like got harder as time went on, rather than softer. But their album Jokes, I think, is the pinnacle of like kind of windy post-rocky screamo type stuff. They had been like teasing this new album for a very long time, and then they just went away to the point where everyone kind of just assumed they broke up and went back to their gas station jobs or professors at universities or whatever. And
let's not let this go without mentioning that this was after they had it fully funded from a Kickstarter. Like, people paid for this album.
Yes.
So this is a Kickstarter album that never came out?
A Kickstarter album where the Kickstarter launched 7 years ago?
Somewhere around then, yeah. It's very old.
And then, like, we recently got a post that was like, hey, guys, it's finally getting mixed. It's going to happen this year.
Yeah, they're also breaking up. Like, Crash is also just breaking up.
I've never seen a photo look more like 2009 than, like, these photos.
That is the correct statement to make about Kid Crash. But yeah, shout out Kid Crash, shout out Jerome's Dream. I'm stoked. I'm so excited.
Jerome's Dream should record that album on a fucking Fisher Price cassette. That's what I'm saying.
How do you feel about
who are they recording it with?
It's not Kurt Ballou, right?
It's Jack Shirley.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, they literally just assumed that Kurt Ballou would do it.
Yeah.
And that was the entire pretense for them saying Kurt Ballou would.
And as it turns out, Kurt Ballou has like shit to do, so they went to Jack Shirley.
It's almost as if he's the guy from Converge.
I mean, Kurt Ballou does like
also makes pedals,
though, you know?
And also like is busy being a god.
Yeah, I think he's probably my favorite hardcore guitarist of all time. But,
that is a good take.
Yeah.
How do you all feel about the Loma Prieta and Jerome's Dream tour dates that are like trickling in?
Wait, hold up. There's more than just the 2 New York dates?
There's like some in like Mexico or something.
Yeah, there's some in Chicago.
There's one in Chicago that
of course it's fucking Chicago
announced today, but they're not announcing like a tour. It's just like very pretentious, like they have been, just like announcing shows and watching them.
Shout out to my homies. Shout out to my homies because Foxtails and Masanera are playing.
Yo,
the New
I'm
York shows.
So stoked for them.
Whoa.
I know. Most of Masanera I'm tight with, but especially Mark. And like that's been a dream for them forever. And they even have like a JD cover song they did for a comp a while back. And Mark was like, I'd feel obligated to play that opening for them. And then Megan from Foxtails is just like the sweetest. All together, it just is like a dream come true for Scram Cave Proud.
Ellie, are you like fucking with us?
Yeah, no, Ellie's Ellie's off that motherfucking.
You're on some speak and spell shit. Are you hacking my computer? What's going on?
Yo, my mainframe bus. I think what Ellie is saying right now is that Jerome's Dream sounds like Seaway. Wow, this is staying in, right?
I don't know what to do with it.
I mean, we could cut it short, but like, I at least want like a little bit of this. This is incredible. Like the sounds that are coming out of this, it's like we're getting like a Merzbow set if he woke up with a headache.
I fucking hate Merzbow.
Oh,
back to double.
Oh my god! What did you have to do to fix that?
Well, my laptop was going into organ failure, so I just shot it full of antibiotics for 8 days straight.
So there's 2 new Tiny Moving Parts songs, except the catch is that they're old songs, or is only one of them new, and one of them's old? I forgot.
I didn't actually look into this one.
Okay. Ellie?
Yeah. Were you actually expecting me to check out Tiny Moving Parts?
Hold on.
You seem to always have an opinion, so.
All right, hold up. I'm gonna consult their I'm consulting their Sophie's Floorboard page right now. Okay, so For the Sake of Brevity was the first track off of Moving to Antarctica, their good
Yes.
album. Fishbowl. Yeah, no, that is not on
That's
here.
properly new. That's a proper.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
properly new. I'm still bummed that they took Moving to Antarctica off of Spotify. No, off of Bandcamp. And I will also say that that is also, in my personal opinion, a good contender for 2010. Not compared to like a fuck ton of other albums, but like that is what I like to remember Tiny Moving Parts as.
I think Tiny Moving Parts, and this kind of speaks to a band that's been around for this long in general, but also like a band that's, I guess, like great. I would call them a great band, even though I haven't liked any of their albums for a while. But like everyone has a favorite Tiny Moving Parts album, and it's rarely like
The same.
I don't want to say rarely, but it's like commonly not the same. And that's
Yeah,
like
to me, it's less that they're a great band, even though like you could very easily make an argument that they are, but they are like all objectively like some of the best musicians in the scene. Like Dylan is arguably like the best guitarist in emo.
it's also pretty wild that people will say that they hate Pleasant Living but love moving to Antarctica, because I can like, it's not like they're completely different bands.
Sure.
For me personally, I think Pleasant Living is just tame, and it doesn't remind me of like the thrill of hearing, because like when I heard Moving to Antarctica, I was like really new to emo. I actually came in shortly after This Couch came out. And so while I was playing catch up, like Moving to Antarctica stuck with me in a really heavy way.
Mm-hmm.
I just think for me, a big statement like that, I don't know. And that's not to say Pleasant Living doesn't make its own statements very largely, but I think it does so in a tamer fashion.
But I'm also saying that in the fact that people think Swell is great, but can't handle Pleasant Living for some reason. Pleasant Living, I feel like, is extremely polished, but Swell is just like fucking all-time low-level polish. I don't know. Shit's wild.
It's like All-Time Low meets Chon without the racists.
I really hate you. I'm very upset at you.
Also, Moving to Antarctica is definitely on Bandcamp still.
Really?
What offends me is that
last time I checked, they had pulled it.
It's on Bandcamp. I'm looking at it. I just pressed play and I heard a little scream.
the thing that fucks with me is that literally no one ever mentioned Celebrate.
What?
Except me.
Celebrate and Swell
Also,
are totally interchangeable to me.
No.
Celebrate outdoes Swell by a margin for me.
Yeah, but I think
absolutely. I mean, Celebrate is like, to me, like the furthest pop you can go with Twinkle.
Sure.
It's really, really well constructed. Maybe not lyrically. Definitely not lyrically. But
I guess I'll say that like they were losing me on Celebrate and they've lost me completely on Swell.
I mean, to me, the problem with Swell is less that it was exactly like Celebrate and more that you could tell they actually tried really, really hard on Celebrate. Mm-hmm. And they did not on Swell, you know?
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm, you know, an outcast among outcasts when I mention Celebrate's my favorite.
Wait, that's your favorite. That's your favorite?
That's my favorite.
Whoa! Curveball.
Okay, that's why we're talking here. Okay, that's your favorite.
It is my favorite. Yeah.
Wow, you are full of surprises.
Not that I don't love Moving to Antarctica, but it did not stick with me in 2010 the way that several other 2010 releases stuck with me. As for This Couch, I think that might actually be in the top 10 corniest albums I've ever listened to in my life.
Yeah.
Like, bar none. Jared Alonji tried to parody it, and I think the original is more ridiculous than Jared Alonji's parody. And as for Pleasant Living, I feel like it's like setting a template for Celebrate. I feel like Celebrate is just like really polished. I feel like a thing people don't often know about me is how much of a sucker I can be for just really well-made pop songs. And I've always been like very impressed with bands who can just put shit together in an incredibly appealing way and an incredibly well-constructed way. Like, you can't see the seams, and that's what I hear on Celebrate for sure. Like, I don't see any of the cracks.
I mean,
Valid take.
yeah. I think, was it Birdhouse? That is like a top 3 Tiny Moving Parts riff, if not latter half of this decade. It's one of the best riffs in emo for sure.
I'm just still. I just wasn't expecting this take from you. I wasn't prepared for that coming into this. The room is spinning. I think my mother is calling. She says I gotta go home.
I'm really proud I can still like pull out surprises 23 episodes in.
Yeah.
My takes only get hotter with time.
All right. Well, let's blast through the our emo 2018 results. Best emo album went to Charmer with 77 votes. Puppy Love coming in with 75 votes. Grad Life 2, 60 votes. Cloud District 52 votes. 51 votes. Retirement Party. Nowhere even mentioned is Awake But Still in Best. Awake
But Still in Bed has 47.
That's not showing up for me because I'm not a mod.
All right, I'm on like the voting thread itself. I'm not on the results thread.
Okay, I'm on the results. Yeah. But yeah, Charmer. Honestly, did not see that as the best voted by our emo. It beat out Mom Jeans.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to beat out Mom Jeans or Grad Life at all.
I will say that Charmer, I feel like the last 2 months, Charmer has really gotten a lot of attention all over the internet. We might have caught him in that right moment, but also,
I mean,
while I don't agree with it being the best album in emo that year, I'm not gonna throw my arms up in the air and be like, fuck this for any reason at all.
I think it's because the Charmer conversation, while more low-key, was more consistent.
True.
Yeah, I feel like the Mom Jeans conversation spiked when the record came out and then dwindled.
Remember when it got leaked?
Yeah.
On Deezer?
On Deezer.
It got leaked on Deezer. Someone ripped it from Deezer, threw it onto YouTube, and then it got uploaded to Sophie's Floorboard, where it remained.
Really? It just stuck?
Yeah, no, it was on Sophie's Floorboard for a couple months before the record came out.
That rocks.
No one posted about it.
Yeah, the thing is, no one in the scene wants to fuck with Sophie's Floorboard. Like, no one wants Kevin like mad at them.
Because, like, how could you be mad at Sophie's Floorboard? We all owe so much to that blog.
Yeah.
No exaggeration whatsoever. Cried when MCP ended up on there because, like, that blog meant the fucking world to me in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Commander Salamander and Darkle both were, like, ecstatic, overjoyed.
Yeah, they're on there. So, best new emo artist went to Awake But Still in Bed. At least we got that one. Best emo band to break up, Michael Sarah Palin.
Who else was like even contenders for that? Oh, I guess Swordfish.
That was the year before. Donovan Wolfington, Oliver Houston.
That was.
I forgot Oliver Houston. We beat out Oliver fucking Houston. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
You beat Oliver Houston by a large margin.
Hey,
what the fuck's wrong with y'all? What the fuck was wrong with Washed Up Emo? Oh wait, no, Washed Up Emo gave us cover.
But best emo song, our emo, Michael
song,
Sarah Palin, Portrait of a Man.
That was actually an honor. I'm very flattered.
Yeah, so best emo band to break up, you got 104 points, and then second place was Oliver Houston with 83.
Whoa.
Third place is Donovan Wolfington with 37.
Wow.
You know what's sad about that?
New.
Did I tell y'all the story of how I met Alex from Chatterbot?
No.
Pulled up to a show MCP was playing. It was apparently their first show ever. They were like asking where the seating was. And it was Michael Sarah Palin, a band that just got announced on a tour with TMP and Free Throw called World's Greatest Dad. They're from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Cattywampus and Donovan Wolfington, because Alex was really into Donovan Wolfington. And it was at this show where I met Alex, and I was like, yo, it's sick that you're stoked. You should come to this show that I booked. And it was a Halloween post-fest. And it was... So Alex's second show ever was Prince Daddy, Just Friend, Save Face, and Oso Oso.
Christ.
Yeah.
Alex is a lucky person.
Did that just like change them?
Yeah, nah, because now P Daddy is like definitively their favorite band.
Sick.
Yeah, and it's funny because like that's what like emboldened them to like get involved in emo, which is what led them to Ryland, and thus sparked Chatterbot. But like MCP wasn't planning on being on there until after I made a tweet jokingly saying that I needed to find a sugar daddy that would press my shit to vinyl.
And Alex could be that sugar person, that sugar parent.
Yeah. At another show, and Alex was like, yo, literally, yes. And I was like, okay, but we're never calling you my sugar anything. And they were like, okay, bet.
Wonderful. I'm going to go onward here. Best emo label went to Counterintuitive. Was there anyone else? I mean, Chatterbot would have been more exciting. But
Counterintuitive got 109. Second place is Chatterbot with 51.
Whoa.
Third place is Run for Cover with 50. And then
what did Run for Cover do last year?
Fiddlehead.
That's
Wicca
it.
Face.
That's this year.
No,
Fiddlehead.
They were Fiddlehead, but they were putting out Wicca Face singles last year.
Yeah, now Run for Cover,
They're
I
going
don't
through
know
some
what
shit.
space they're really occupying right now.
Fury, that Fury LP. That
Oh yeah,
is.
I feel like
in the
Run for
works.
Cover is taking Side One Dummy's place.
You mean of
Is that
like
a fair
fair?
take?
of like kind of going inactive and slowing down, or
No, in terms of like who they're snatching up and releasing.
yeah. Oh, Run for Cover did Camp Cope.
Oh. But yeah, bias aside, and don't get me wrong, I love the shit out of Jake Solzer, but it would have felt like more of a triumph if Chatterbot had won.
For sure, that would have been the more
Yeah.
exciting thing.
But obviously, like, Jake works his fucking ass off, and so like I'm not gonna say that like Counterintuitive doesn't deserve it
no,
Never any hate to Jake.
no,
ever.
nothing but love.
I
Ugh.
don't get it. I don't get it. Explain it to me.
Best R emo post went to Corey. Prince Daddy and the Hyena proposed to Zoe, Mississippi, in the middle of the fest set. She said yes.
God, I lost my mind. Everyone in that
Were you
room
there?
lost their. Yes, I was.
You were there?
Yeah.
I'm going
it
to
was-
jump over Best R emo mod to go to Best R emo artist Joyce Manor. Just kidding, because the Best R emo mod 2 years in a row is Ellie.
Yeah. Sheep with Shovels used to win every year, and now I guess I win every year. Which makes me feel very good. It makes me feel very warm and fuzzy inside to think that the community actually gives a shit who the moderators are. And even more so that I stick out among them, because we have a really good mod team right now, I think. Yeah, I got first place, and then second place was Hobo, and then third place is Connor.
Hey, wait, we got Hobo Johnson in the sub?
I think Dan would be very upset with you for comparing him to Hobo Johnson.
Can we just say that, like, how did Joyce Manor win Best Non-Emo Artist when everyone thinks they're an emo band? Okay.
I
That's
like
all
how
it's-
second place is Foxing. Second place for this category is Foxing.
Okay. That's strange. Best Non-Emo album is Just Friends, Nothing But Love. I'm
so,
glad.
Can I say something about that album?
Yeah.
Stop calling it ska. It's not fucking
It's
ska.
not It's not ska.
Not everything with horns is fucking ska. It's a fucking funk record. God damn it.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know why that bothers me so much. I don't know. Ska is already like,
Bad enough.
or at least ska, as these kids know it, is already like a whitewashed, bastardized two-tone anyways. And so for them to just call anything with a horn ska just like feels like they're spitting in like the face of like the Specials or, you know, like literally any black people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Granted, these are also kids that'll get really mad if you try to discuss what defines a subgenre anyway, so maybe I'm preaching to the wrong choir.
But I will say we are a podcast, and you are doing this on the absolute right on the absolute right medium right now. This is where this shit lives. This is where
That's
shit lives.
true.
I love when people get really angry on the pod.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong.
love-
It's a sick ass album. Quit calling it ska. It just doesn't make sense. It's not ska. That's not what ska is. Ska is more than just a toot toot.
Oh god. Best non-emo song went to Foxing. How do you pronounce that, by the way? Like Prince?
Lich Prince.
Lich?
I've always heard it pronounced as Lich.
I've never.
But
I don't.
I didn't
It
listen to
doesn't say-
Foxing, so I don't know what song y'all are talking about.
it doesn't say that's what won on the voting thread. That got 40 points.
Okay.
And right above it with 43 is Never Gonna Bring You Down by Just Friends.
Hey.
Really? So someone's cooking
Yeah.
the books here.
Yeah, it's not
Wow.
me. I didn't post the thing.
All right.
My favorite thing about this is the person who posted "The Moon is Made of Cheese, but I Can't Taste It" by Bill Wirtz. That's Ukulele King, actually.
Oh.
Friend of the show.
Hey!
Best non-emo label went to Polyvinyl for some reason.
I mean, they had that Jeff record.
Yeah, but
You know, they were starting to roll out Pedro the Lion singles. Who did Mitski release through?
Dead Oceans.
Who the fuck is that?
That's the same thing as Jaguar and Secretly Canadian. It's a huge label. Do
you know-
conglomerate.
Do you know what the runner-ups were for Best Non-Emo Label? Top Shelf. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the mighty have
Third-
fallen.
Third place is Death Wish.
Okay.
Respectable. Very respectable.
Yeah. I mean, Polyvinyl got 68 points and Death Wish got 18, so they're missing out by like 50 points. And then fourth place is fucking Fearless.
Yo! Oh wait, never
Um,
mind. I was thinking of Hopeless.
Yeah,
Same
no,
thing.
Fearless is the one that does those Punk Goes Pop compilations.
Oh. Which one am I thinking of? Am I thinking of Fearless or Hopeless?
Hopeless did Wonder Years and early All Time Low.
I was thinking of Fearless. Thanks to the greatest band of all time.
Dillinger 4.
Chunk.
Oh.
Chumped.
Chunk.
Chunk, no Captain
Chunk.
Chunk.
Oh, Chunk No Captain Chunk. Word.
Damn right.
Which one of those labels legit put out like a bunch of Dillinger 4 records? Was that Hopeless?
Yeah, that's Hopeless.
Yeah.
That's tight.
Hopeless were legit punk.
While
like-
doing shit that wasn't punk at the same time, though.
Yeah, same as like Ferret Records and Trustkill Records, but both like kind of became like scene labels, but started out as like DIY hardcore labels.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't want to spend that much time on this, but can we talk about the speculation of Pure Noise scooping up the whole Mom Jeans crew?
Oh shit! I haven't heard
Really?
anything about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think Grad Life was re-uploaded to Spotify under Pure Noise, and
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
and but
That.
from was talking to me about how they played that warehouse show, or no, it was like an auto garage show where like that power violence band that they're all in, they were all
Natural Flavor.
yes, I guess that entire crew was just like dripping in Pure Noise merchandise.
Huh.
Well,
So they're obviously being courted, if not moving on.
Pure Noise is. I think Pure Noise is a better contender for New Side One Dummy.
For sure.
Ooh,
Definitely.
yeah.
They
Who
have
all do they got on their fucking roster right now?
They have
Knocked
a lot of
Loose,
different
You Space
stuff.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
Boston Manor, Can't Swim, Counterparts, Drug Church.
Yeah.
For your strong, Hawthorne Heights, Home Safe.
What I've been
Left
hearing
Behind.
is like these are bands that are like making money. Like so
Yeah,
like
definitely.
bands are going onto that label to actually see some coin and not just like eat Taco Bell in the parking lot.
See you, Space Cowboy.
See Space Cowboy will always eat Taco Bell in the parking lot because it's very cheap and accessible vegan food.
Sharp Tooth. I saw them in a pizza place once.
Sick.
It was like a week before they got signed too.
So basically, all they needed to do was scoop up the story so far, and then they could afford anything that they wanted after that, is what I'm seeing on this
Yeah.
roster.
Here's what I'm saying. If Mom Jeans get scooped up by this, and I don't see a Mom Jeans Rotting Out tour, Mama's gonna be a little cranky.
I think I feel
I'm
like
joking.
Mom Jeans Mom Jeans have like kind of hardcore connects, right? You know?
Like
Do they?
connects, or is it just
Where?
merchandise, or do they just walk around in code orange hoodies?
Well, nah, because like for the longest time there was the like main Mom Jeans picture was like Eric was wearing like Nails merch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if to be in a power violence band, you have to be like a legit fan of hardcore.
Yeah.
'Cause power
It does
violence
help
is, like,
that they're
niche
from
as
Cali.
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is
The like
you know.
mecca of fucking power violence. Shout out Slapaham and
Shout out
65
Slapaham.
Thrashcore.
I mean 65 Thrashcore and Pessimizer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can this just become a power violence podcast?
Do you not have any idea how long I could talk about Downsided by No Comment? Like for
Do you
literal
have any
years.
idea how we're platonic soulmates?
You're like not even the second person to say that to me.
So let's get through this final segment, and I want to put 20 minutes on this. All right? Can we do that?
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So
One-
final segment, 20 minutes.
Thank
Okay.
you both for agreeing to that. We're going to talk about the Cam statement. So this came out on all of Cam's social media. Cam from Sorority Noise. I'm just going to read the statement here. Do we need to give any backstory?
No, I think anyone listening to this podcast
Okay.
is aware.
The statement reads, the other day I had a positive and constructive conversation with a person who, 8 months ago, was pressured into making a statement about me online. This conversation was important to both of us, and I'm grateful we were able to speak on our experiences and what we could do positively going forward. We both felt this note, which has been approved by both myself and other person involved, was a step in the right direction. Although we are each valid in our own experiences, we agree that anything that did occur between us was not purposeful or malicious. This person has made peace with the situation that they would not have shared publicly under other circumstances. I have been in intensive therapy for the past 8 months, and over that time I've been working towards growth, being mindful, and moving forward. I appreciate your reading this. Of note, be well. And this is blasted through Cam, Old Gray, Flower Girl Records, Sorority Noise, all of those channels. And the response was, from what I was seeing, was just like, I'm so glad this exists. I'm gonna fire up my Sorority Noise records, which is not how you should feel, in my opinion. That's where
Yeah,
I believe
That
it.
is not the reaction I was seeing at all. I mean, I wasn't reading comment threads. I was just looking at posts being made by my friends about it.
I mean, the reactions I was seeing was split 50-50 between people who didn't give a shit in the first place and people who were like, eh. Like, I feel like this could have been a lot better.
I will say
And-
that we like it was 8 months ago, so I think speaking up after like giving an 8-month update, I think that's appropriate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Waiting that long to like talk shit over, especially, and giving like the victim time to like work through what can only guess was really traumatic, being forced to like publicly air out your trauma. I can only imagine how that feels.
when you had no intention to do so, you know?
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
when your idea of moving through it was to like deal with it in a private manner, and someone was like, "No, fuck you. You're gonna have to stand on a pedestal right now."
Yeah.
I cannot believe how many people in the scene still fuck with Nicole. Like I cannot tell you like the mutual friends on FB that we have. It's like really unfortunate. Someone else, I think it was James from the band Artorias, said something really insightful. They said that they're not necessarily opposed to transformative justice, but the catch is the person who is ostensibly being reformed is not supposed to get back the status that they initially had, because they have proven that they cannot be responsible with it.
Yes.
So
Do you think anything in that statement alluded to that's how Cam felt?
I don't know. I will
No way of
say
knowing.
there
Yeah,
was
I
a
don't
word
think there
choice.
is.
There was a word choice that put me off very much, and that was when he said, "Although we are each valid in our own experiences, we agree that anything that did occur between us was not purposeful or malicious." Although we are each valid in our own experiences, I feel like that is a little bit. How do I put this? Elliot, did this phrase like do anything to you? Did this also make you feel uncomfortable in any way?
So I'm wondering, and this question is not being posed to excuse any behavior or say that what happened wasn't what happened. I believe I heard from somewhere that like he was on drugs at the time, like heavy drugs. And that is not to say that it makes him any less of a rapist whatsoever. Believe me, I definitely believe he should be stripped of his platform, all of that. But I do believe that that might be, as far as like malicious in the moment, that doesn't make sense. I still believe that I think, I don't know, honestly. I think that much would at least like be why, because like in the initial thing, like they were like, yeah, no, we contacted everyone. We have no idea like who this could be about, you know?
I'm trying to pinpoint why exactly. Although we were,
yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the
Experiences.
equally valid in our experiences, like
because
Where-
it fundamentally
where is
doesn't
your-
quite make sense, right?
where is your experience differing from the others such that it changes anything?
So the victim's experience, which is in Cam's words equally valid, is that you raped me. And then Cam's experience, which is supposed to be equally valid as the victim's, is did not rape you. And somehow those two realities are supposed to coexist.
Purposeful
Right?
and
Is that-
malicious. Well,
my reading that
purposeful,
correct?
in my opinion, is irrelevant. Like, violating someone's agency is the beginning, middle, and end of the story, regardless of your intent.
Right.
Like, that's the term purposeful is bullshit. Malicious, it just doesn't make sense. Like, that's the thing. Like, there was something like this looked
Very-
like stock footage of a statement.
Because the vast majority of violations of consent are between friends or people who previously know each other, I guarantee a vast majority of them are also not malicious.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like part of the point of consent education, right?
Yes.
But
I
do you
feel
think
like- okay.
do you think like that wording is trying to him to excuse his behavior or excuse what he did?
I feel like it's him trying to say that he did not knowingly violate consent, which
is
I think
irrelevant.
that's not like, in obviously the three of us are of the mind that that's irrelevant, but to a whole lot of other people that makes them look at the situation with a bit of a softer lens.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kyle, you said in the very beginning, like, oh shit, I want to fire at my sorority noise records. That's not the response people should be having. Like, what's your take on this?
I think the fact that it exists is appropriate and needed and kind of new for these situations. Like, let's face it, we're never gonna get another Jesse Lacey statement. We got a Pine Grove one that really just
was a press release.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was the most fucking botched attempt at like transparency I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. So it's improvement, but what scares me is the fact that people are like, sweet, he's in the clear, which I honestly think what Cam needed to say was, this does not mean I'm coming back. This does not mean
I deserve to have the platform that I once did.
Yeah, I think that literally needs to be said. Because what's happening is people are like, alright, my fucking crew neck is now going to come back into rotation. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, noise.
That's exactly it.
And
I think the problem...
I think that is something that needed to be avoided by saying something like, I'm not in the clear. Y'all just wait for me. When
I think the problem fundamentally is that like people think like we give a shit whether they had the merch, or we give a shit whether they listen to what they listen to in private. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's not even close to the point.
Yeah.
It's the going out of your way to defend them. That is
exactly.
Yeah. Because like
if you sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
You both were saying like people are saying fuck this. Like why though? Like what even warrants fuck this?
Because he still did what he did.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because on the other side of the spectrum, you also have people who, I'm not going to say necessarily black and white thinking, but people who view those transgressions as like beyond reproach, you know, like beyond the point of any sort of reconciliation.
So you're saying like these are people that think that you are gone for good?
Yeah. I feel like I'm also uncomfortable with that sort of position because like I've always been uncomfortable with like the retribution model of accountability rather than the rehabilitative model of accountability.
You're here. So,
and I feel like this is also stuff we like talked about in the initial Cam episode. Mm-hmm. Like we're coming back and bouncing off these same themes, but it's really tough because what Cam said here doesn't address any of the stuff we were talking about back then.
What he was talking about was very internal shit. Internal meaning him and the other party.
Yeah. Now I have a question for both of you. Because initially the victim wanted to have this dealt with in private. Does that make the call out invalid? Does that mean that we should still just let this be their private business?
I don't think it's possible to know that without like a blatant acknowledgement from the victim as to like wishes for moving forward, like a list of demands or something,
right?
Or requests. Because like really, at the end of the day, this is us placing the victim first, and like what the victim initially wanted is now irrelevant, unfortunately. And so now we are dealing with what the victim is having to deal with, and that is, now that it is public, how do we reckon with it in order for the victim to heal? Because that is what we should be going for first, obviously.
Kyle?
I don't know. For some reason, my thought immediately went to, like, what if your favorite band's, like, or someone, like, what if the drummer of your favorite band is, like, a Nazi and you never knew? Like...
Ostrich syndrome, right?
Yeah. I'll say that, like, my biggest thing about this statement is that I don't know... So, as far as, like, accountability processes are concerned, this is still a pretty new concept. Like, a really fucking new concept.
Yeah.
So we're still, like, playing this by ear, taking it as it comes to us. We don't have, like, a real way of, like, knowing how to address any of this. because there's nothing to know. We're making it up as we go along.
Right.
And so, that said, what was this statement supposed to do?
Just update, I think. But, like, update with what? The intention that you are going to come back?
That's my question.
The intention ultimately is to soften public perception of Cam. That's the point of this.
Yeah?
That's what all the statements always are. Whether or not it's that the artist is coming back, it's to kind of make them seem warmer to the reading audience. I don't know whether that's like a cynical way to look at these, but that's how I've always viewed it.
I don't know. This has been a very difficult one to parse. Like, even more so than, like... Well, obviously more so than Pine Grove.
I mean, Pine Grove previously was my barometer for, like, a situation like this that's hard to deal with, but this one has, like, blown it out of the water.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, correlatively, why the fuck has Nicole not faced any consequences? She has, like, seemingly wriggled her way out of all of them so far. Like, for every misstep she's taken.
That part also kind of blows my mind. I don't know. I've always, like, ever since, like, the whole sorority noise thing has been concerned, I don't think I'm the only one who has seen Nicole shift from a scene figure to, like, solely being a name in a comment thread.
But she is, like, she has clout in Midwest emo posting, for example.
I mean,
that sucks to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's, like, on the same level as, like, Blade and Johnny, you know?
Yeah. It's... I don't know. The lack of acknowledgement to that end, especially for the sorority noise thing, blows my mind, because I think everyone's on the same page that, like, at a certain point, Nicole, like, just needed to not be in the world like, it just wasn't a healthy working environment.
For anyone, yeah.
Exactly, like, just even, like, regardless of, like, this, that, or the other, including way, way more personal shit that, like, hasn't been publicly released, it was just a bad professional environment. She behaved unprofessionally. And so, like, even moving past that with this is, like, a way more, like... Yeah, no, I'm also confused about that.
And I also remember... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say I don't know how to parse it. Mostly because I haven't really... I mean, I've talked about this as much as anyone else has, which is not at all. You know, like, these conversations haven't really been happening.
I mean, I feel like, as far as podcasts go, we're literally the only one that's consistently had these sorts of conversations.
Yeah.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. Jumping off of that Nicole thing, I also remember when The World Is released that track that was, like, kind of interpreted as a diss track against her. People were calling them transphobic because of it.
Yeah, that did happen.
I mean, yeah, it did. And I don't think I agree with that.
I don't really know how to even, like, touch the Nicole situation. I gotta be real. Mostly because, like, aside from that singular, really gross show that happened, Nicole has stayed out of, like, actually being in, like, music in person, at least, except for, like, big shows at large venues that would never ever even try to proclaim to be safe spaces.
Okay. Word.
But also, like, there has been a lack of answers.
Have we hit the 20-minute mark? Did we do that?
We just crossed it about.
We just crossed it.
Yeah. We are
all
2
right,
minutes
well,
over.
Well, let's leave the audience with all that shit. No closure there.
I mean, that's kind of been the whole theme of this entire fucking shit show, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is the answer to this question like we're all fucked? Like, no ethical consumption under capitalism. Listen to whatever you want. Who gives a shit?
I think the fact that I don't know. I think this is one example of. I mean, like this is the first example of something like this. Like someone has given us a proper update that doesn't mean anything yet because we don't know what Cam's intentions are as a public figure, for lack of a better term. That's probably overstating it. But the more interesting thing is how we're reacting to it.
And I feel like whenever this topic happens, like at least half of the conversation is devoted to picking apart the way that the scene responds.
Yes. Yeah.
And I will say the most consistent theme I've seen with these conversations since the beginning of the podcast is always lots of apologism.
Yes.
Like, especially on our emo, unfortunately. Like, no matter how often we try to crack down on it, make it against the rules, ban people who engage in it, it always pops up. Because, in my opinion, because people, like, make their enjoyment of these bands into their identity, right? And if someone in a band they like is a bad person, they can't have that, right? Because that makes them a little bit of a bad person for liking that band. That's my armchair psychoanalysis anyway.
I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick note here. American football posting can burn in fucking hell.
Word, yeah.
Like, I was seeing, like, 3 jank posts a week.
Christ, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People that
and,
don't
like,
even listen
obviously,
to...
like, at one point, like, I forgot to unsave jank. It came up on shuffle, and I quickly had to skip it. You know, I wasn't struck by lightning, but I wasn't about to go into a fucking Facebook group with a screen cap being like, wow, I love this. You should love this too.
Yeah.
Fucking morons.
Because that's direct promotion. Like, I feel like I need to reiterate again. No one actually gives a fuck if you still listen to Jank, or if you still listen to Brand New, or if you still listen to Sorority Noise. Like, that's not even close to the issue here. And I feel like people think that we're saying they're not allowed to do something when we talk about these artists having to take accountability and making shows safe spaces. Like, they feel like we're, like, infringing upon their freedoms and their rights. And I feel like that couldn't even be further from, like, the issue at hand, which is we're working towards a more consistent and effective form of justice.
But we have currently, like, lack insight as to what that is, even remotely.
Yeah, also true. So what do we do? What's that next step? We hold a summit?
We're figuring it out, right?
I
no,
mean,
the E-Word podcast
we?
has to figure it out for everyone.
Oh, God. We're doomed. Oh, God.
Kyle, help.
Yes.
Help.
What do you want me to do?
Help.
Bring it up on the podcast
say words.
next time? Okay.
No, I need, like, confirmation that my word vomit is not incoherent right now.
Your word vomit is coherent. Often find how to navigate these things via our podcast, it seems like, or at least become more aware of ways to handle it and such. So,
and also, like, have more cognizance of how they engage in these conversations.
Right.
Okay. So this is not a done, like, this story is not done by any means, so, but who knows when
all we can really do Yeah, all we can really do is wait for updates.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
But at least it's better than waiting for an album in 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's wrap it up here. Do we have anything else for episode 23? Elliot, sorry, do you have any projects that you want to talk about?
We kind of just like let Elliot like subsume into a co-host persona.
Honestly, I'm down with it. New band called Pine Overcoat, features members of various local emo and math rock stalwarts, bands that more kids should know about by the names of Champagne Colored Cars and Things Amazing. Yeah, so it's going to be cool. It's going to be riffy. Currently working through like mock-up demos. We're going to be recording in early March. Our first show is March 9th. You can follow along at Overcoat GA on Twitter, Insta, and Facebook.
Do you know
I'm
how
surprised.
do you know
What?
how like active the band is gonna be? Like, is it something that you could tour with or anything? Or
I wanted.
you
I
wanna
want to
do
tour
it?
like a motherfucker with this.
Sweet.
Actually, get ready to bleep something out. So we're gonna start off with an EP. That part you don't have to bleep out. What you have to bleep out is it's gonna be mixed by
Oh shit!
who also
sweet.
mixed. Yeah, no, he's like really stoked. He worked with Champagne Colored Cars on their most recent EP and was just really stoked on working with our drummer again and offered us like the most insane deal. Like we would have had to be fucking morons to pass it up. So yeah, one of my favorite guitarists ever is going to be handling the audio files of my guitar work. And I'm already losing my mind over it. But yeah.
I'm so happy for you, Elliot.
2019 is going to be a fucking glow up. Y'all are going to see me riff harder than like fucking ever. These songs are sick. I'm really
stoked.
You should be.
All right, Ellie, you've been writing articles and such.
I at this point have like I think 6 articles up on No Echo.
Got out.
Yeah, and I don't want to like count my eggs before they hatch, but I should at some point soon be pitching an article to the AV Club. So
The AV Club.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like the best of all of them.
yeah, either AV Club or Noisy or both. And the basic concept of the article is like masculinity and hardcore, and I'm really excited to be like exploring that topic.
Want me to send you a transcript of a dissertation that I was sent, and the title of the dissertation is Gay Edge?
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Please do so.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you can find my writing on No Echo. You can find several of my old articles at youdon'tneedmaps.wordpress.com. You can find my awful jokes on Twitter at youdon'tneedmaps. And you can friend me on facebook.com/youdon'tneedmaps. And I think that's it for me. Kyle?
Cool. I don't have anything out there in the world that I can talk about yet besides the podcast stuff. So you can follow me on Instagram at nothingfeelsgucci, and I've been tweeting at 1-800-2_hell-no.
That's still such a good handle.
It is. That's like from maybe my favorite Lil Ugly Mane song too.
Slick Rick?
Yeah,
Slick Rick. So that's where you can find me. You can find the podcast at the E-Word Podcast on Twitter, the E-Word Podcast on Instagram. You can email us at the ewordpod@gmail.com, and there's a Facebook group that you can find. Just say that you want to join, and we'll let you in, and we're going to start firing up that group once we're doing stuff consistently again, like dropping this episode. And you are probably listening to this podcast however you want to, but a lot of you are doing it on the Chillwave YouTube channel. So once again, shout out to Chillwave, who's now releasing records, by the way. Who released that Closure EP that was really fucking good. Shout out to Closure. Can we say that? Can we all say shout out to Closure? That's a good band.
I back it.
Shout out to Closure. Yeah. Word.
Okay, Elliot, thanks for coming back. You're a part of the repeat guest club.
Yeah.
Sick. Who else?
And Claudio
and Matt.
I feel like there's someone else.
Matt.
Well, do we want to count Dan and Lauren?
In spirit.